Everywhere, Everything, All at Once is directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schreiner. It stars Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Hsu, Ke Huy Quan, James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. This movie focuses on a woman named Evelyn who's not doing very well in her life. Her business is failing, her marriage is slowly falling apart, and she doesn't have a very good relationship with her daughter. Her life changes dramatically when an alternate version of her husband from a different universe tells her that they need her on a mission to help save the world and stop this villain from creating chaos. That's all I'm going to say in regards to the plot of this movie, because trust me, there is a lot more. I was excited for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought the trailers were really interesting, and I thought it had a great cast. When it comes to the directors of this movie, the Daniels, I've only seen one other movie from them, and that movie is Swiss Army Man, a movie that came out in 2016, and it was very polarizing. The majority of people who watched it either loved it or hated it. I liked it. I thought it was a little too weird for my taste, but I still thought it was a good film. With that said, I went into this movie with a very open mind, and I was just hoping that it would deliver. I've seen the movie twice now, and I'm very happy to report that this movie not only surpassed my expectations, it is without a doubt one of the best movies that 2022 has to offer thus far. I loved this film. This movie is a wild ride, to say the least. And it's hard to really classify this movie into one single genre because it has everything. It's action packed, it's hilarious, it's dramatically effective, it utilizes science fiction in a different way, and it has a romantic story at the center of its core. I will say right off the bat, though, that this movie will not be for everyone. There's going to be a certain amount of people that will think this movie is too weird, and they're just not going to vibe with it. I don't think it's going to be as polarizing as their previous film, but there's going to be a certain amount of people, especially in my personal life, that are going to think I'm crazy for even giving this a positive review. But I love the movie, and I have no regrets with that. So let's talk about the direction from the Daniels, because in my opinion, they are the true stars of this movie. These two gentlemen created a very bonkers, thought-provoking, and highly original film that really stands out as one of the best I've seen in a while. The reason why this movie works so well, there's a lot of reasons, but first and foremost, it has a lot of heart. Even though there's a lot of weird sequences, there's a lot of crazy action sequences and really funny scenes, this movie at its core is really about a woman who is disconnected from her family and contemplates about the choices she could have made in her personal life but didn't make. And as a result, she's living a life that's very ordinary and not to her best potential. And you see other versions of her, right, in different universes. And it makes you think, what if there's a multiverse out there and you have a different version of you that made a certain choice you wish you had made and is living his best life? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of themes here. And this is a movie that's very open to interpretation from a lot of people. But the way I interpret it is the way I just said. And it utilizes all these action scenes, like I said before, and the comedy and the romantic aspect. And it really makes for such a unique experience. That's the best way I can describe this movie. It's a very unique film, and it has so much to offer. The action sequences, they kind of reminded me of bits of The Matrix, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, even Scott Pilgrim versus the World, especially with the comedy aspect. But it still feels like its own thing. And it's so funny, and the performances are great. Michelle Yeoh, I've loved her since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I just want to say she's aged very well, and she's still a great actress. In this movie, she gives a very complex performance. She has to juggle a lot in this movie, and as the movie goes on, you get to really see her character grow. And when you see other versions of her, it's really, really fascinating. That's all I can really say. It's hard to talk about this movie without really spoiling it, and even if you haven't seen the trailer, you should really just not do that and just go into this movie as blind as possible so you can really get the most experience from this movie. Ke Huy Quan, who was in Indiana Jones 2 and The Goonies, comes back after so many years into movies. And he's great in this movie. I really loved his character. He was really sweet, but his alternate version of from another universe, he's a badass, and he's just completely does a 180 with his performance. I loved it. And everyone else is really great. Jamie Lee Curtis, she's not in the movie that much, but I did like her performance a lot here. And the performances are great. The themes are really good. And the visual aspect, I haven't even talked about that. The editing is flawless. I mean, there's so much level of detail in this movie, and the more you watch it, the more you're going to catch certain things that you didn't notice on your first viewing. And it's hard to really talk about other reasons why I love this movie, but this movie is coming out, well, it came out a couple of weeks ago, but it's expanding in more theaters as time is going on. And if it's playing near you, you have to do yourself a service and see everything everywhere all at once. Even if you don't like this movie, I think you can at least appreciate how different it is. And it really is something that is made from passion and a lot of heart. And it's something that's just different than what I've seen from a long time. So I'm going to give Everything Everywhere All at Once a 9 out of 10. One of the best movies of the year. It will, without question, it'll be on my best of the year list. And yeah, I saw it twice, like I said before, and I can't wait to see it again. So make sure to watch that movie, and that's my review. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys watching my review. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment, feel free to do so. My next review will be for the movie The Northman, and I'll see you guys then. So until then, take care, have a good one,